Welcome back to our channel where we explore the exciting world of Unreal Engine. In today's video, we're going to demonstrate how to create a basic health system with health and damage elements and a color-changing health bar. In this example, the character is initially taking on damage and then restores health. The health bar is adjusting its color based on the health variable associated with the character. By the end of this video, you'll be able to create these various health system elements. So let's jump right in. Step one is to create the health bar widget. So we're going to first create a folder called UI for user interface. We're going to create a widget blueprint. So we're going to select user widget. We're going to name it WBP health bar for widget blueprint health bar. Double click on that. From here, we're going to add the canvas panel to the widget. And on top of the canvas panel, we want to select and add the progress bar. Select the progress bar, and we're going to now name the progress bar health bar. We're going to make some modifications to that health bar. We're going to change its anchor to the lower left corner. We're going to change the position of the progress bar closer to that anchor. So position X at 50, position Y at -100. We're going to change the size of the progress bar to 300x and then make it taller by making it 50 on the Y axis. Next, we're going to create a binding for that progress bar. First thing we're going to do is to create a variable called health bar value. This is going to be a float. So we're going to select that, and then we're going to compile the blueprint. Next, we're going to start adding the nodes to the blueprint to check for the value of that health bar value. So we'll get the health bar value. We're going to first divide that value by 100. The health bar value is a float that's going to range from 0 to 100. Since the progress bar's value ranges from 0 to 1, we need to divide the health bar value by 100 to get the percentage value used by the progress bar. So after we divide by 100, now we want to check to see if the value is greater than 50%. So we use the greater than node 0.5 to check it against. If it's true, if it is greater than 50%, we want to first get the reference to that health bar. And then from that reference, we want to now change the setting for that health bar, which is the fill, color, and opacity value setting. So we get that, and now we change the fill, color, and opacity for when it's going to be greater than 50% to green. Now we want to check to see if it's our midpoint value. So here we're going to now check if it's greater than or equal to 25% or 0.25. And now I'm going to add another branch node. And then check to see if the value is greater than or equal to 0.25 or 25%. Now, make a copy of the set, fill, and opacity nodes with the health bar. Connect that up to the true pin. And now, if the value is 25% or greater, we're going to change it to yellow. If it's not that, then we know that it should be red. So we're just going to make another copy of the fill, color, and opacity nodes. Set that, change the value to be red. Now we have all of our conditions set. Just going to align the center to clean things up a bit. Now we need to return a value for the progress bar. So we're going to connect the set nodes to the return node. We're going to take the value from the division by 100 and set that as our return value for the progress bar. Adding a couple of reroute nodes to make it a little bit neater. All right, so if it's greater than 50%, set it to green. If it's greater than or equal to 25%, set it to yellow. Otherwise, set it to red. Now we're just going to, again, straighten up the connections of the reroute nodes. And we are done with step number 1. Step 2, we're going to add the health bar to the character. So we're going to go into the third person character, and in UE5, the third person character already has some nodes associated with the event begin play. So we're going to pull off of the begin play and add a sequence node. First part of the sequence is to perform the nodes that were originally there. And then the second portion of the sequence is where we're going to add the health bar widget. So create a widget. We're going to select the health bar widget. We're going to pull off of the return value, and we want to promote to that variable the health bar reference. So we're going to get a reference to that health bar. From here, we're going to add a health variable. We want that variable for the character to be a float. We're going to compile. We're going to now set that default value to be 100. And again, we'll do another compile. Now we want to set the health bar value that we created in step 1. So we're going to pull off the health bar reference. We're going to access the health bar value, and we're going to now set the health bar value to the character's health variable. The last thing we're going to do is we want to add the health bar widget to the character's viewport. So we'll add the viewport, we'll get the health bar widget return value, and now we add it to the viewport. Now the next thing we want to do is do an event any damage. So this is the health system portion of this character. So we will add that node. From here, we will get the health value for the character, and we will subtract the damage that is received from either the damage element or the health element. If it's a positive number, it's going to be removing health. If it's a negative number that comes across as damage, that will actually be adding health. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we added a clamp between 0 and 100. And now we're going to take that clamp value and set the health variable to that value. Now we also want to change the health bar's value. So we get a reference to the health bar. And now we want to set the health bar value to the current health that came back from the any damaged event. That's it. Compile and save. And you're done with step 2. Now, as a quick check, go ahead and play the level and verify that the health bar now shows up with your character. Step 3, creating the health element. First thing we want to do here is just create a new folder, which we're going to call Blueprints. Inside of this folder, we want to create a new blueprint class called the actor class. We're going to give it the name Blueprint or BP Health. Inside of this actor, we want to add a couple of components. The first component we want to add is a cube. And we want to change the size or scale of the cube. So we're going to go quarter on the y-axis, quarter on the z-axis. Now we want to make a copy of this because we want to create a cross-like shape. So we're just going to do a copy and paste of that cube. And then we're going to rotate that copy 90 degrees. Next component that we need to add is the box collision. So we're going to look for the box collision component, rename it box collision. And here I'm assigning it to be the default scene root. Now we want to come and we want to change the size of the box collision, the box extent. So we're going to make it 60 across the X, Y, and Z. And that will cover the cross actor. Now the last thing we want to do here is add another component, that is the rotating movement component, which will cause the cross to rotate. Last thing we want to do here in this section is do the on component begin overlap. So we're going to click on that. That will create the on component begin overlap event. From here, we're going to pull off the other actor pin and then cast that to our third person character. From the third person character, we want to now invoke the apply damage. This will in turn call the any damage event. So we want to specify -20 here because that's actually going to add health to that health variable in the character. The last thing we want to do is destroy the health actor. So compile and save. And you're done with step 3. Step 4, creating the damage element. So for this, we need to add some additional content to our project. So we're going to add the content pack, the starter content pack, to the project. So we just do an add to project. Now we're going to go back into our blueprint directory and we're going to create another actor. We're going to name this actor BP_damage. Double click on the actor. Now we're going to add some additional components. The first one being a cube. And we're going to change the scale or the Z scale on the cube to make it more like a platform. And then we're going to change the basic materials to this solid blue, which was part of our starter content. In addition to the cube, now we want to add a box collision that will surround the cube. So we're going to add the box collision. We're going to name it box collision. We're going to change the box extent, the size of the collision box, 50 on the X, 50 on the Y, and 20 on the Z axis. From here, we want to go down and again select the on component begin overlap, which will add that event to the actor. We can now remove, we can select these events since we're not going to use those. So select and delete those. Make some more room for us to add some more nodes. From here, the first thing we want to do when the character steps or gets near the platform is to spawn an emitter at the location. So in this particular case, we want to spawn the P explosion emitter, which we received from the starter content. We're going to get a reference to the cube because we need the location as to where to spawn the emitter. So it's at the cube. So we will get the cube's world location and attach that to the location on the spawn emitter node. The next node we want to spawn, or the next thing we want to spawn, is some sound. So add this spawn sound 2D emitter, and we have multiple sounds from the starter pack. So we're going to select the explosion one. Now the next thing we need to do is decrease the health of the character. So we can go off of the other actor pin. We're going to cast it to our BP third person character. Make a little bit more room here, and now we're going to apply damage. So just pull off of the BP third person character pin and associate that with the apply damage node, and we can specify the damage. In fact, we're going to promote that to a variable which we'll be able to change inside of the editor if we need to. So compile, set the value to 10, so this will reduce the health value by 10 each time. And again, we're going to make it visible from the editor so that as you add this actor to your layout, you could change the damage amount for each individual actor. Again, compile and save, and we're done with step 4. Step 5, placing the health and damage elements on your level. Now here's the fun part. So now we can drag and drop our elements onto our level or map. By holding the Alt key and the left mouse button, you can make a copy of your actor. So again, holding down the Alt key and the left mouse button, just drag, and that will make a copy of the actor. So here we're placing the health actors throughout the level. Just kind of moving them around. Now we're going to place the platform, our damage platform. Here I'm going to raise it up and then hit the N key, and it will drop it to the level floor. Again, we're going to make some copies by holding down the Alt key and the left mouse button and dragging. Now, sometimes I found that it's easier to change the perspective and go from a top-down approach. And this way, again, if you hold down the Alt key and hold the left mouse button and drag, you can make copies of your actor. So here we're just placing the damage element throughout the map. Again, Alt left mouse button, drag makes a copy of that element. Going back to the perspective, and now we're done with step 5. Step 6. Congratulations! You have just created a health system with health and damage elements and a health bar that changes colors based on the health of your character. Now it's time to run through your level. Enjoy! We hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel for more Unreal Engine tips and tricks. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode as we continue to explore the incredible world of Unreal Engine.